Hello everybody, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Ghost War 38 and this is just giving a small update on my comic book collection and collection in general. Some of these I have talked about in their own dedicated videos, others are new and that I haven't mentioned. Starting here from the top and working my way down, I'm really excited to play this. I ordered this online from GameStop's website. This arrived in the mail on Monday. This is the Rogue Trooper Redux video game. This is a remaster of a game from the PS2 console cycle. You play as Rogue Trooper. He is the last genetic infantry soldier. This is a 2000 AD character, and I watched a couple lore videos on him on YouTube about him, and I was really interested in learning more about him. I've picked up a couple of his comics that are in the pile here at the top, but I've also ordered some from eBay, and I look forward to reading those. So I'm really interested and excited to play this. This is a third-person shooter, and I've heard from some online it's like a fairly short game. It's not very long. So there's the video game. And now the comics at the top. The pile here I picked up, I just got back from my local comic shop, so I put these together. The first one here at the top is a reprint of a G.I. Joe comic book. More importantly, this is the issue of Snake Eyes, where we learn his origin story. Really curious to read this. I have not gotten really too big into G.I. Joe. It's a property I know about, but not really something that I go actively out of my way to read. But I'm at least familiar with the property. I've done a playlist where I talked about a couple G.I. Joe toys that I liked, and of course talking about the Sigma 6 ones, but this is something that I haven't really dove into, which was the comic books. But I do look forward to reading this. There was another reprint G.I. Joe issue that they did recently, at least as of 2025, and that was issue 152, the original adventure of the very first G.I. Joe. So we'll be curious about that. So anyway, there's G.I. Joe issue 26, The Origin of Snake Eyes. And then starting right from the top, I picked up two Jonah Hex books. This is the very first issue of the limited series Hex. Basically, think Jonah Hex meets Mad Max. They had like a couple other issues here, but I found this one first. So now I have the first issue of this series. I heard the story wasn't really good, but being a Jonah Hex fan now, I basically wanted to pick these up and at least read it for myself, even though I heard it's not that good. So there's that one. I also found this one there as well. This is a Millennium Edition reprint of the very first issue of Jonah Hex. But when I covered my previous Jonah Hex video, when I showed off the Welcome to Paradise trade that collected this book. And excuse the noise upstairs, that's just my dog outside having a cow because he likes to chase squirrels. So there's that one. And then next, we have some others. This one is the first two issues of the Dynamite miniseries Justice Inc., which is the team-up of the Shadow, Doc Savage, and the Avenger. We get a pseudo-origin story for the Avenger, as well as a meeting of a younger Doc Savage and older. You can see here on the bottom, the one with where he has the widow's peak haircut, and the one where he has his hair. There's also here, of course, the Shadow as well. This is written by Batman, by the Batman caretaker, Michael Uslan. I've read some of this in passing, but never did a full deep dive into it. Alex Ross did a number of wonderful covers for this series that sparked my interest. Although I have read the first issue of the Justice Inc. Avenger mini series, And that was the one that I have the Alex Ross cover, and that's the one that was the homage to the very first issue of the 70s series. So glad to have this in my collection. This one here, I have some random Rogue Trooper and Judge Dredd books. This one here is issue 32. The Lone Clone of Galactic Warfare is the title at the top. This is from the Quality Comics line. I can't say much about this in isolation yet because these are just some random issues. So this is issue 32. This next one I found interesting because according to my comic shop, they actually bundled a couple issues together as larger sizes. This one has the tagline, looking for a few good clones. This one is issues 23 and 24. So there's that one. This one is also from Quality Comics. This is issue 5. I have the first 3 issues of the single series here on order, as well as a couple of the next book I'll be showing as well. But this is issue 5. I'm missing issue 4, and then going 6 onwards. This one is Rogue Trooper Classics. This is a line that was released by IDW along with Judge Dredd Classics. This basically reprints the old Rogue Trooper comics from, I believe it was probably from this series, and some of the original stories, but these were in a better quality color run. That plus these were a later printing. These were from the 80s. So this is a much better upgrade. This is issue 7. Issue 6 and issue 7 are going to be worth reading because that is All Quiet on the Dixie 1 front. I heard that's a very good story, according to the lore video I've seen, and that one is going to be worth it alone. And so I'm glad I have these, because this is All Quiet on the Dixie 1 front 1, 2, 3, and then 4 through 8, and then I believe issue 8, because there's 8 issues of this run, so I have a couple of them. They did not have that one, but I believe that one has like the latter parts of that series. So really look forward to reading this one. This one is like a good starter Rogue Trooper story. I have issues 1 and I want to say maybe even 2 on order, I believe, but we'll show those when I get there. I'm going to give the 2000 AD its own dedicated video. Anyway, moving on from there. This one is nice. This is issue 4. This one is fun because this one, these 3 white covers here, sorry, that's my cat. What do you want, buddy? Sorry, that's my cat, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to be a part of this video. Hey, buddy. Anyway, as I was back to saying, is these white covers here, these were what they call the subscription covers. And these, particular here with issue 4 with the tank, and the one seen here with the mountain, reprint the original. This is sort of like a re-illustration or recolorization of the original Prague covers that these stories were in. So that's kind of fun. I don't know for sure if the issue 6 and 7 here were part of the stories, but I do recognize the one here with this tank. So that'll be fun to read. And then this one is issue 3. I like the art on this one, so that's nice. And then this one is issue 2. This is apparently this is the subscription cover. That's interesting. And they say that on the top of the other issues as well. Sub covers. Apparently that's the subscription cover, so I'm curious to see what the original issue 2, alternate issue 2 would have been like, so that's fun. I have issue 1 of this series on order. This one is Judge Dredd Classics. This one is issue 5 and issue 4. And then I have issues 1 and 2, and of also the Free Comic Book Day cover, which was the introduction story to the Dark Judges with Judge Death. And speaking of that story, that was also done in the Classics line as well. The Dark Judges. This is issue 3 with Agent Anderson. And there's issue 2. I believe this was a 5-issue series, according to mycomicshop.com. This panel's kind of infamous because the line in the book that I saw for a video on it, he says, "Taste the fist of dread," and then punches him through the head. So that was kind of funny. And it's like, whoa. So yeah, there's that one. So that's my 2000 AD line there. I believe I've shown this already in my previous Jonah Hex video, but this is the trade Jonah Hex No Way Back. This is a standalone graphic novel done by the team of Gray and Palmiotti, and art by one of the original co-creators of Jonah Hex, Tony DiZuniga. I'll show you some of the artwork here real quick. But yeah, as you can see there. Read this twice already. Really enjoyed this. And then next is one of my favorite comic books of all time, and as well as enjoying the animated movie. This, released recently, I picked this up from my local Barnes & Noble. This is the Compact Comics collection of DC The New Frontier. Story and art by Darwin Cook. It basically takes the Justice League of America and its universe and sets it after the 1940s and into the 1950s, the book ending in the 1960s with John F. Kennedy's inauguration. What can I say about this comic book that hasn't been said by anyone else? The art is simply fantastic, and this is arguably one of the best DC Comics stories ever told. I put this right up in my top 5, sitting proudly next to my trade paperback of Alex Ross's fantastic story, DC's Kingdom Come. But again, this is one of my favorite stories. I am really happy to have this in my collection, and for only $10, worth picking up. There's a couple other Elseworlds that are out as well. Gotham by Gaslight, the original story, where Batman has to track down the Jack the Ripper murders. And I think either next month, or I think it might be at the end of this month, Superman Red Sun as well. So, highly recommend this book to anyone who hasn't read this. It's $10. You can buy this at your local Barnes & Noble, or if you order from Barnes & Noble's website, or I imagine you could probably find this on eBay, or wherever you go for it. This one I found this at my half-price books. This was 2 Judge Dredd comics that they had. This is Judge Dredd Future Crime. This is reprinted from a couple of the progs, or programs. So the art style changes throughout the book. It's a couple different stories. But in Judge Dredd universe, done by Wagner. And then another one here. This is Judge Dredd Emerald Isle, written by Garth Ennis. Emerald Isle, published from 2080, Prague 727 to 732, Almighty Dread 780 to 782, and The Magic Mellow Out 808 to 809. The art style is different depending on what story you go see, or not see, go read, and depending on the tone and style. I'm doing a quick flip through, but you can see the art is different depending on each story. It can either be goofy or serious or an intense drama. And of course, as for Judge Dredd, very violent. And this last one here I found at Walmart in their book clearance box for $6. This is an epic collection of Doctor Strange. This is volume 10. This collects the Sorcerer Supreme series 34 to 47 and an annual Silver Surfer 67 and Spider-Man Doctor Strange The Way to Dusty Death. So, that's this one. I have not ever really read much of Doctor Strange, and so I picked this up on a whim because this was the only one that they had in there that I found, and I thought, I like Marvel, so I thought I'd pick this up. I was very curious about it. I've read some of it, like an issue or 2 out of it, and I enjoy it, but again, the context of this is later in the series, so I'm missing quite a bit. And so that's really kind of about it. I picked this up for $6, and I like it so far. But anyway, that's a look at my collection for this video, and if you all have one of these stories that you enjoy, please let me know in the comments section below. And until then, I will see all of you folks next time. So take care, and goodbye for now.